Today we are going to discuss about the practice school, which is there in your syllabus 4-1 JNTU Hyderabad. That practice school means what are the training program you can do associated with the college and some other organization or governing body in the different subjects it has been designed. So in that which is related to this subject, that quality control and standardization of herbals, right? We are closely related to the botany and herbal medicine. That's what we have discussed in our subject right from the beginning, right? So when we talk about the practice school, it is as the name indicate, where we are going to practice something like a training where we can learn about the different this thing, right? So coming to the course objective, what are the objective to putting this kind of practice or the thing which is going to helpful for you? So generally practice school is a educational innovation seeking to link industry, hospital, pharmacy experience with university instructions, and the students is going to learn after completing this school. They are going to meet the rapidly changing needs and challenges of the professional workplace, right? So just now the COVID-19 pandemic came. So when it is the kind of in that situation, what are the data you are going to study? Being a medical profession student, what are the thing you are going to learn which is going to helpful for your knowledge and as well as your career also, right? To acquire the knowledge and skill both, right? Generally if you are completing your B Farm degree, you are going to get the knowledge, only all the knowledge about how the tablet, capsule, ointment, lotion, medicinal plant, herbal medicine, governing body, everything. But until and unless you will not get skill, right? At least by the completing of your degree you should be able to know minimum skill that how to perform. That's what the practical it is situated with your theory right from the first year. But during this pandemic the college and university were closed, so you people are unable to do the practical. So now whenever that you are going to get the chance, you are going to have to develop the skill which is possible in the given time period, right? Bear an economic relevance to the society, right? Economic relevance means how the revenue or the economic it is going to relevant when it comes to your tactics, your career and your profession, right? So by completing this kind of practice school you are going to have some kind of skill which will be helpful into the economical development of the society as well as your state as well as the country, right? So then what are the outcome we are going to get? The institutionalized linkage between the university, college and industry. That's what in the institute industry interaction, because ultimately the whatever the syllabus it is being designed in any of the course, that it is supposed to be the industrial oriented. What is going on in industry side, how what is going on in the present scenario, accordingly the particular manufacturing, quality control, research and development go on, and accordingly the syllabus will be designed so that the students which whatever they will study and they will after completing their degree or diploma they will come out, they will be able to have the some types of knowledge and skills, right? Students involvement in real life project, right? Real life project which continues internal evaluation and monitoring. The faculty help by students to understand the practical issues, right? So what is the type of project it may designed in present scenario, right? So that's what we have seen, that if you talk about the real life project, so in our real life now the COVID-19 situation it is going on, which was not there 1 year before or 2 year before, right? And it may be not there in another coming year, right? We can hope that. So what is what is the kind of practice or project we can design and we can study which is going to helpful for the community. After successful completion of 150 hour, actually it is supposed to be, the students will submit the detailed report of different field, following fields which we are it is listed out in the syllabus, right? So detailed report about, so what is happening here, yeah, due to the COVID-19 pandemic period, universities and colleges were closed, therefore it could not completed. But whatever the time we will get in this semester, now on coming semester, we will compile the data related to our school or practice school, that too shift wise, by maintaining the physical distancing and following COVID-19 guidelines, right? So these are the things, any domains relevant to pharmacy can be given to the students. So here the form subject wise it has been given, like industry oriented practice school, right? And hospital oriented practice school, retail pharmacy oriented practice school, like medical stores and all those things. Then election of medicinal plant oriented practice school, right, which is related to our subject. Then regulatory affairs, different regulatory affairs, pharmacovigilance and other things which is going on, according to that what are the practice school can be designed, right? Then next one, the national poison centers, it is there, where we can collect the data and we can have the analysis, formulation aspects, different types of tablet, capsule, ointment, herbal syrup and all those things, right? So the fourth one, which is the election of medicinal plant oriented practice school, which is related to quality control and standardization of herbal subjects. So the students have to visit the medicinal plant garden and collect some medicinal plants, those are useful to various disorders, and submit the report in detail about the plants they come across during their study period, right? So whatever the suppose in the here agriculture university is there, then CMAP is there in Uppal, in different colleges, in our college also there is a herbal garden. So what are the medicinal plants it is there? Suppose many of the medicinal plant we are keep on looking, but at the same time we will not be able aware that what kind of useful it is having in the various disorder and disease. So that we need to compile, like in first year you might have submitted the herbarium file, right? So likewise you need to compile the details, not only for the so when it comes to the election of medicinal plant, generally when you are going for the any research or development for the, you are starting any research project, so how we are, what are the aspects you are going to consider when you are electing or selecting the medicinal plant? The application of traditional and popular knowledge about the use of healing plants in the development of herbal drugs proves to be fairly consequent and a consistent strategy, as it can generate employment and income from the participation of the organized community in the process of development, production, and insertion of the so developed product in the pharmaceutical market. That's what we could see in our subject right from the beginning, how the impact of herbal medicines or medicinal plant oriented formulations, it still may be appropriate from the ecological standpoint when the botanical raw material for the production of these herbal medicine is obtained from specimen grown in deforested areas, right, where the it is not there. When the project with this design is originated and developed in the scope of pharmaceutical sciences, it is called the ethnopharmaceutical study. That's what we are supposed to do in this practice school. So what are the techniques and methods for selecting of the medicinal plant? Generally, if you are going to have the finding out the anti-diabetic medicinal plant, which is not mentioned in the list. So what are the things? So here some contributor they have given, like Cellar and Guerrado in 2008 refers to the genomics, the metabolomics and ecological, botanical, taxonomic and epidemiological based studies, right? So many things it is involved when we are selecting the medicinal plant for study. On the other hand, the Abdulkarim Quirk and Hanazaki 2006, They point out the other way to study the medicinal plants, among which we highlight 5 basic types of approach: the randomized, the ethnological, and the chemotaxonomical, also known as the phylogenetic or chemosystemic, and the ethno-directed or ethno-oriented, and finally the exploration of the promising biological test result. So there are many ways we can select, but which is going to convenient for our study, that we need to think. So coming to the first one, the randomized approach, like as the name indicates, randomized, we have to see by looking at to the different this thing. So the randomized investigation consists in a random selection and collection of the plant species for study according to the plant availability in your area, in your surrounding, in your state, in your district. When carried out in regions with high diversity and the endemism, the probability of finding novel substance, bioactive or not, is certainly higher in this type of selection, right? So wherever it is high diversity, it is there, or more number of plant, you are surrounded with the forest or wild or the variety of the plant, it is there, so you can get it. It is an indispensable approach once it can demonstrate the potential of different plant species that had never been investigated. So getting such plant, it is really difficult, because most of the research and development has been carried out since a long time. So according to the Shoja Brito in 1996, this type of selection provides an endless source of new structures, since nature is a vast chemical laboratory. The forest, the wild, our nature is having still, we are completed less than 50%, we can say, where the in number of medicinal plant is still available in the world. So ecological approach, if you see, the ecological approach, also known as a field observation, consists in observation of interactions between the organisms in their ecological environment. Like orange can grow into the Nagpur, and apple can grow into the where, the in another this thing. So reason wise, like ecological, right, including to potential biological activity like antibacterial, antifungal, agrotoxic, and pesticides. This approach searches for secondary metabolites and biological activities. It may be performed by the selection of young leaves, ex-mature leaves for a given species, and between different species that are shadow resistance and not shadow resistance. What is the kind of these? Among other characteristics, though little explored, it has achieved excellent result. We have to go through accordingly, right? So coming to the next one, uh, when the definition of the plant species, what is going on here? uh, the chemosystemic approach, when we are talking the chemotaxonomy or chemosystemic approach, when the definition of plant species, which will be source of phytomedicine, is based on the structural analogy of the substances present in this plant material with other known active substances present in different botanical family, genus, or even species. We can infer that this strategy is based on chemosystemics, a system created by Professor Otto Richard in 1982 to organize and understand the plant, like chemo taxonomy, right? So the variation in chemicals and the taxonomical detail that we are compiling, and accordingly we are going to search. This system consists in identifying group of chemicals present in plants and considering the taxonomic organization of these plants. That's what chemosystemic or chemotaxonomic classification, also we have studied this point. To illustrate this topic, the consider the use of the plant species containing antiplasmotic indole derivative as active principle in the development of an anti-malarial phytomedicine, like, right? So what is the kind of like Rutaceae family? The Rutaceae family will going to contain rutin, and Solanaceae family going to contain the propanol chloride. So accordingly, what are the marker constituents and how their the taxonomical detail it is going to be, that with that detail, when we are finding out on concluding any medicinal plant for our study, that is known as chemosystemic approach. The coming to the next one, the ethno-guided approach. The ethno-guided approach is consist of selecting plant species in accordance to the indication of specific populations groups in certain constraints of use, emphasizing the search for the locally built knowledge regarding their natural resources and their applications in their health system. Okay, so that's what ethno guided. So ethnobotanical, whatever the details we are going to get, plant species are raised by the qualitative survey. The survey usually related symptoms, signs, and a diagnosis of low gravity disease to medicinal plants that the respondent known about, and their use according to the cultural elements that characterize the ethnicity or human group to which they belong, right? Considering the territory as the basis for this characterization, which territory it is going to have, and the human group also, right, where in that particular area. So what is ethnobotany? When we talk about the ethnobotany, these are defining the medicinal plant for developing a phytomedicine under the vision of ethnobotany, a survey of plant species used by a particular human group, that the tribal area, the rural area, how they are going to use, then certainly ensures a botanical classification of the plant, since the core activities of botany is to determine the taxa of botanical sample. Moreover, more important information for the production of plant material for the development process could also be provided by this approach, the ethnobotanical approach. However, information like remedies, the preparations or any decoction or infusion, the allegations of use and including doses, and the evaluation of the remedy use, and the relationship between the user and the derivatives prepared with plant material, particular plant material, are not a part of the necessary instrumental for the practice of ethnobotany. Okay, so that we can do. So the next one, that is the ethnopharmacology. The most accepted definition of ethnopharmacology is multidisciplinary scientific elaboration of botanical active agent, right? So in ethnopharmacology, the most accepted definition of ethnopharmacology is multidisciplinary scientific exploration of botanical active agent traditionally employed, right, from generation to generation in tradition, or observed by a man, that this particular plant is having anti-diabetic activity, or this particular plant it can be cure for the wound healing activity, like that. So another useful definition was proposed by the Dos Santos in 1990 as an interdisciplinary scientific study of materials from animal, vegetable, and mineral origin, and the related knowledge and practices that different cultures use to modify the state of living organisms by therapeutic, like curative and prophylactic or diagnostic purpose, right? So that's what, according to the body in 2008, many ethnopharmacological studies seeks to the correlate pharmacological activities found in the traditional remedies, whatever it is going on, with active pharmaceutical ingredient through the natural products chemistry, right? So ethnopharmacology, therefore, in its interdisciplinary nature, attempts to associate at least 3 point of view: the cultural, a biological, and a chemical ones. Right. So coming to the medical approach, right? So it is different from ethnobotanical. The ethnomedicine refers to the study of disease. That's what ethnomedical, study of disease, their cause, and the therapeutic measures taken by the various societies of primitive peoples as well as by popular social communities like how the Chinese peoples are doing, what kind of decoction, what kind of soup they are drinking, so how it is going to cure. So like that study we are going to do. So definitely ultimately our intention is what kind of chemical constants is present in that particular thing which they are consuming, the social community. It deals with the natural and ancient therapies used to combat disease and emphasize the relationship between the patient and the carrier, between the patient and society. Right, these two things. Ethnomedical studies contributes to the knowledge of the techniques used by many ancient peoples with regards to the treatment and the knowledge of the particular disease. Ethnopharmacy, it the strategy that can greater more information directly linked to the glanic development of an phytotherapeutical formulation is the ethnopharmaceutical approach of medicinal plants. Here, the semi-structured interview script allow the assigning, among other, and the nosological profile of the approached human group and the medicinal plant used to treat the signal and the symptoms mentioned by the interviewers. Like we are going to ask the people that what is the kind of things has been taken and what medicinal plant it is going to cure what different types of signs and symptom of the particular disease with their interviews, right? So the method also evaluates the utilization of synthetic and herbal medicine by the group, and the purposes the practice poetry observation, what kind of it is going on, the practice they are doing of the remedies preparation using the most promising plants, and finally observe the aspects related to the plant itself, right? So that is going to happen. Coming to the ethnopharmaceutical approach and the use of flora in the development of herbal medicines, ethnobotany and ethnopharmacology plays an important role towards the approach when the aiming the popular information retrieval of the particular medicinal plant. The empirical knowledge which has been transmitted from generation to generation by shamans and the healers of in all cultures and tradition, like neem plant it is used as antibiotic, tulsi is having antimicrobial activity. So likewise it is being transmitted, then it came into the different literatures, different books, and so on, right? So the ethno oriented survey puts the popular information as an important reference for the experiments, both with regards to the exploitation and the use of herbal drugs and phytomedicines, as well as for the development of new remedies, how we can develop it. Like, so ultimately, a medicinal plant in basic health care from ethno guided approach. So when we are electing or when we are selecting the medicinal plant, to know that what medicinal plant is having what kind of activity, how the ethno guided approach it is going to helpful. The information, that is the conclusion, the information that the substantiate the inclusion of a given medicinal plant species into the primary health care is carefully conferred in the scientific literature, right? Whatever the literature, scientific literature it is available, that has to be configured carefully, because it is going to useful further. Data on botanical, agronomical, pharmacognostical, and chemical characteristics are checked for the unequivocal description of the plant material to be considered as a potential source for an officialized phytotherapeutical. So resulting the results concerning the effectiveness and the security of the herbal drug on its derivatives, as well as information about toxicological, preclinical, clinical investigation, of the plant species, herbal drug or preparation obtained from them. Complete to complete the set of data. So in this way, the medicinal plant species are inserted into the list of phytotherapeutical for use in the basis of health attention. Nowadays, the vegetal species and derivatives species are available as therapeutic resources in the basic pharmaceutical assistance program. So that may be the way of selecting of the medicinal plant. It is not that simply we are going and collecting whatever the medicinal plant it is available in our herbal gardens in our surroundings. Those plants are well known plants, right? We know the about the aloe vera, tulsi, neem, and all those things. And if you search in Google or if you go to the textbook by CK Kokate or trees and nuance and whatever the book, you are going to get all the pharmacognostical details that they belongs to which family, what is the genus, what is the species, what are the chemical constants it is having, what are the use they are having. But when we are selecting any medicinal plant to conduct the project or to conduct the research, like extraction, isolation, preclinical study, the anti-diabetic activity, to check into the animal models like rat and mice, so we need to select something new plant. Our same study which has been already done by someone, we are not supposed to carry out the same thing, otherwise it is not going to be the novel work. So the election of medicinal plant, it is having very very important role, right? So whenever we are electing or whenever we are selecting the medicinal plant, it should be new, so that when if it is new, what will be the going to be the basis of your selecting that. So that's what different approaches we have discussed in this class, so that is going to helpful. So further you need to in this in the practice school, you need to compile the different medicinal plant materials in the herbarium form, or in the data form also it may be. But at the same time you need to compile what are the chemical constituents present in that, and what is the taxonomical detail of that particular plant, and what are the use, medicinal use, that we are going to have. Those are the things we are going to compile in our uh, practice school project. Okay.